that she doesn't touch like me. Sure as hell don't fuck like me.
Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, not only to share my experience with you guys this time, but also just so you guys are aware of what's going on in society still till this day. It's like honestly sad. So I'm sure you saw the title of the video, and yes, I was recently scammed, and that's what I will be sharing with you guys today. Okay, so where to begin? All right, so the guy that I work for, I've known for over 20 years. I know I look young, right? But no, I knew him since I was like a child. He actually recently went to Australia for about a week, from like Wednesday to Wednesday. He was gone, and I was the one opening the office and things like that. Sometimes I would be the only one in the office. Okay, so let's see. All right, so while he was in Australia, I was opening the office every day, doing the 9 to 5, you know, the basics. So this day, my son actually had open school. Now my son's school only does, they don't do open school night, they only do open school day hours, which is from like 12 to 3, and it's 2 days in a row. So it'll be like Thursday and Friday. I believe it was Thursday and Friday, and I went on like a Thursday. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just pick a day, whatever. So I emailed him, let him know like, hey, just to let you know, I'm not gonna be in the office all day. I'll be in and out the office or whatever. So I went from 12 to 3 on a Thursday, and I was literally like in and out the office. I wasn't there all day. So if anybody stopped by or anything like that, I really wouldn't know. So I kind of felt bad about that. Like, I hate when like my personal life and my work life like clashes. It's just like, I know what happens, but I just hate that. I just want work my 9 to 5, go home, deal with personal stuff. Like, I never wanted to clash because I don't want to inconvenience anybody at all. That's just not my style. So that day I knew I would be in and out the office. So all day went by, you know, it was a regular day. I was answering emails on my phone, you know, things like that, nothing out the ordinary. And I decided to sit down and do some homework around maybe like 6:30 at night. So for some reason, I checked my all of my junk mail, like my spam boxes and stuff like that. So I came across an email from my boss. Let's call him Kenny. I came across the email from him, and it had Kenny Valentine, his first and last name, and it said, the subject was see to this, and in the message it said, hey, if you get a chance, I need you to pick up a few things, please see to this urgently. So I'm like, that's weird that it's in the junk mail. And then I start noticing, because I never check my junk mail, but I start, after seeing that as the last message, and that message came in at 9:56 a.m. Mind you, it's like 6:45 p.m. right now. And I'm like, okay, this is weird that it came in a junk mail, whatever. But I wasn't really paying no mind to it. So as I'm looking through the junk mail, now I'm seeing like emails from like other people that I work with and things like that. So I'm like, oh my God, why is this? Like, it's a whole conversation that I'm CC'd on that's in the junk box. So I'm like, that is so weird, whatever. So I read the email, and then I wrote him back, and I said, hey, Kenny, I just seen your email. I'm just now seeing your email. It was in the junk mail for some reason. So he wrote back and said, junk mail, ? Weird, ... Take notes, people. And then the next thing he said was, I really need you to pick up a few things. No, he said, I really need you to pick up some store cards for me if you can. Get on this swiftly. So I'm like, So I responded and I said, yeah, it is weird. I also seen a few emails from a few weeks ago from Ashley and Brian, which is even weirder that like I didn't know that I was CC'd on their emails and it's in the junk pile too. So whatever. So after I wrote that, in the beginning of the email, I said, and what are store cards? So, and then I put LOL. So, once I asked what was store cards, LOL, the next email he responded, and these emails are like responding like within 2 to 3 minutes, they're being back and forth the emails or whatever. So, once I said what are store cards, LOL, he said, he was very specific. He said, I need you to go to a store that sells one second. Alright, so I went to get my laptop because I need you guys to know the signs, like word for word. And I put on a little lip gloss because my lips were dry. But anyway, so yeah. So, let's see, where was I? Alright, so when I said, what are store cards? He wrote me back and said, he was very precise too. He said, I need you to purchase 8 physical store Google Play cards with $100 increment on each of the cards, which totals to $800. Get on this swiftly. Now, my boss is very particular, very, what's the word? At times he can be very exact, especially if it's a task that he wants you to handle properly. He's very exact. And this email was pretty direct and exact, right? So even though I never heard of Google Play cards, I'm like, what are Google Play cards? So I Googled it so I could see where I could pick them up from. Because one, yeah, it is after hours and I'm off of work. But I wasn't in the office all day, like I said, and I kind of felt bad about not being in the office all day. So I was gonna go out of my way for my job to make sure that my boss got the things that he needed while he was in Australia. So I Googled Google Play cards, and I found out that you could buy them at like any retail store, like Target, Walmart. I think they sell them at like 7-Eleven, stuff like that. So I went to my nearest Target, which is literally like 10 minutes away from my house. I didn't respond to the email saying, okay, no problem or anything like that. Excuse me. Because I'm the type of person where I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna just do it and then I'll get back to you when I'm done doing it. Simple. So I didn't say okay or anything like that. I didn't respond to the email. I just immediately put on my sweatpants and left out the door. Went to Target. So I got to Target. I was looking around the gift card section. I only seen $50 gift cards in this Google Play card. With this Google Play with these Google Play cards, I only seen $50 increments. So I asked a guy there, and he was like, I know we have them, and he's like helping me look. And then he told me to check every single register to see if there was any, because he knows he's seen them. He said they might be out, but just check. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I checked. I'm going all over. Mind you, I'm trying to do it quickly because he asked me this at 9 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock this morning, and I'm just now getting to it at 6 p.m. So, like, while I was driving over to Target, I was thinking, like, oh, you know, like, how come he didn't text me or Maybe he can't call me because he is in Australia. So, but why didn't he text me? Or why didn't he have service? Or how come he didn't even ask his wife to do it? Because his wife is actually at home here in the U.S. But she is also pregnant, and she does also have 2 additional kids at home. So I'm like, damn, maybe like she couldn't do it or whatever the case is, or you know. So that's why it's easier just to ask me to help him out. So whatever. So I'm trying to be quick about it because hours have passed, like, and I'm just like, and just to rewind a little bit, when I let him know that the email was in the junk mail, I did say, I'm just now seeing this email in the junk mail. Do you still need me? Because I know, like, it was hours that had passed. Like, almost 12 hours that had passed. So, like, 9 to be exact. But, so, I honestly didn't think that he would still need me. But he did. So, I'm like, all right, cool. So, now I'm in Target. I emailed him. I said, okay, the highest they have is $50. Want me to check a different spot? And then, he didn't respond. About, let's see, I'm trying to see how much time went by. Maybe about 3 minutes went by, and then I emailed again, and I said, like, literally, after I emailed that, I was literally standing around waiting to get a response from him. So, I emailed back, and I was like, yeah, this is the second place I've been to, and I called 3 Targets and a Walmart. They all have $50 gift cards at the highest. Should I purchase the 16 $50 cards? I ain't go to no second place. I ain't call no Walmart. I ain't call no Target, no other Targets. I was just saying that because it was late. I need to go home. It's the same thing if you get 16 rather than 8, whatever. So I emailed him that, and then he said, $50 is fine. Get a total of $800. All right, cool. So I'm like, oh, I finally got an email back. Boom, let me hurry up. Got the 16, went to the register. So when I went to the register, the guy was like, you getting all of these? So I'm like, yeah. So I kind of figured like maybe it would be a little problem, or maybe something, like, I don't know, something would go on, something would happen. Or it was gonna be some type of issue. Maybe he would have to get a manager. Like, I don't know. I honestly didn't think nothing of it. I was just trying to hurry up and get back home. And I know now, looking at it, there are a lot of red flags in this story, but that's not where my mind was. My mind was literally on 100, running like, okay, what I gotta do? Okay, do this, do that, da da da, this and the third. Like, I had to do this for him because, like, I wasn't in the office all day, honestly. Like, I know I sound like a fool. Trust me, I know. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know where my mind was. So my mind definitely wasn't on thinking that this was a scam, even when the cashier asked me about it. So I said, yeah, all of these or whatever. So he, rang it up, and I paid with my debit card because I had a feeling that it was going to be a problem if I paid with my credit card. Even though I have ID for my credit card, I don't know, I just the vibe, I knew it was going to be a problem. So instead of going with that gut feeling, which you should always go with your gut, people, I deadass just ignored it and was like, let me use my debit card. Use my debit card. 16 gift cards, $50 each, came up to $800. I don't know why there wasn't any tax. Who knows? But I got the receipt to prove it. Target, 16 gift cards, $800. $50 each. Hold on, people. $50 each. $50. So I entered my PIN. His register froze for like a good 3 minutes. We were standing there waiting for a receipt to come out. I thought my card was gonna decline. wish it would have. But after a while, it went through. And, yeah. I walked out quickly. And when I got to my car, I emailed him and said, okay, I got them. So then he wrote back and was like, after the purchase, carefully write out all codes and email it to me here now. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get home. It took me like 10 minutes to get home. I get home. So I'm responding. I press reply. I'm responding to the email, and I'm literally writing out each, like I'm scratching off, and I'm writing out each of these codes. First, I was gonna give these. I don't know why, but first I started writing this, the barcode, and then I was like, maybe he needs these. So I was like, yeah, I think it's this one. So I scratched it out and started giving this. So I wish I would have gave this one, cause whatever. But anyway, yeah. This is what they look like, people. Don't fall for it. That was good. So anyway, I get home and I'm writing them all out. And when I had left the house to go to Target, like my boyfriend already was like, why are you leaving this late to do something for work? Like, you're not at work, you're not being paid for this, whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, my boss needs something. I know we have this type of relationship where I could use my money and he's gonna give it back to me. Boom, whatever. So he didn't really say nothing about it. He was just like, whatever. Cause I always, like, we've been through situations before where it's like, he would ask me like, oh, why you doing this? Or what you doing? And I'm just like, just relax. Like, oh, this and that, like, you know? So he didn't want to go back and forth with me. So he just didn't say nothing. So I left, came back. So when I came back, he sees me responding to the email with all these gift cards and putting the codes in the email and this, that, and third. And then he like looking at me like, what the hell? He's like, how many you got? And I'm like, I'm like 16. So I'm just still writing, whatever. And then he like, you sure your boss asked you to do this? And I'm like, yes. Like, he asked, like, Kenneth asked me to do this. Like, and then he like, okay. He said he knew it was fishy, but once again, like, he didn't want to go back and forth with me because there has been times in the past where we have gotten into it, not for situations like this, but for situations maybe similar to this, where it's just like, oh, like, why are you doing that? Or what are you doing? Or this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, chill, I got this, like, you know, stuff like that. So he decided not to say nothing. So moving on, I get all 16 codes written in the email, and I send it. So soon as I send it, literally like the next day, hold on. Oh no, as soon as I send it, literally like 30 seconds later, he writes me and said, what is going on? Question mark. So I said, you didn't get the email? So then there was like no response. So I forwarded it again. This time when I forwarded it, whatever, I typed in my boss's name and I sent it that way. So when I did that, his away message came up. The same away message that I've been getting every time I've been CCing him on emails at work. Don't tell me. The red flags, I know. Don't say it. Anyway. I feel like, I don't know. I feel dumb. But when you've never been scammed in your life, you don't know the signs. Like, at all. So if you do ever feel like there's an inch of some type of wrong, go with your gut and do more investigating. Call the person, text the person, maybe their family member, whatever. So And that happened, I was like, yeah. So I went in the living room. I told my boyfriend to come in the room. And like, I told him, like, I don't know, I think something's up. Like, I think I just messed up. So now, right after that, it took like maybe like 5 to 8 minutes, but I got another email. It says, "Hi, are you still at the store? I just found out I will be needing $1,300 worth more. Sorry for any inconvenience. Get this done swiftly." At that point, I already knew it was a scam, especially after, like, come on. So they wrote again. I didn't respond. They wrote again, and he was like, "I need more cards actually. Please get this done. $1,300 more, same increment as the last order." So after that, I'm just like, whatever. So at this point, like, I had texted his wife, and I asked his wife, "Hey, did you speak to him at all today?" And I told her what was going on, and I texted him, and I said, "Hey, do you need gift cards?" And like, basically everything was just out in the open at that point, and I knew I had been scammed. My boyfriend started looking into it because he does work for an IT company, and he basically just saw, like, I wish I knew this, but basically all he did was click the person's name. So say if you're getting, like, say I was getting emails from my boss, right? Kenneth, I don't remember what name I told y'all, but anyway, we gonna say Kenneth Mackey. So I was getting emails from my boss, Kenneth Mackey, and basically I just see his name come up as an email, and I'm like, oh snap, he emailed me. Boom. So if you even, this is mainly with Apple products. I don't know about Androids or anything else like that. They probably work the same. I'm not sure. Don't, quote me. But if you go and click the name, if it's a laptop, you could click the name and it'll expose the whole email. If it's an iPhone, at the top of the email where the name is, it'll say details on the right side. If you click details, it'll turn blue. If you click the name now, you'll see the actual email. If that email is not the person's email that you know, the person that you know personally, if that's not their email, and it's something, for example, let me see, something like encrypted at yrnsecure.com or something like that, it's a scam. Scam alert, it's a scam. So if it's not the actual person's email, then it's a scam. Like, don't respond, especially, yeah. So my boyfriend did that, and he showed me, and I was just like, wow, amazing. Like, I didn't know that, So then my boss called me, and then he was like, "Are you serious?" Da, 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 da. And then he started explaining to me, like, he would never ask me to do something over email because the reasons like this, it'll always be verbally and this, that, and third. And I was like, oh yeah, that's great to know now, whatever. So he was just assuring me, like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna get your money back, just file a claim, whatever. So I called my bank right away. My bank said that I had to wait for the charge to complete the pending stage, and then I can call back and open a claim. So just a few tips, guys, for scamming purposes. Just like I just stated to you guys with the name thing, if you click the name and it's not the email of the person you think you're responding to, it's a scam. That's one red flag. 2, if the language is kind of off, if the English is kind of off and you know the person personally that you're emailing, and like, you text them all the time, you email them all the time, whatever it is, and they don't sound like that, that's another red flag. A lot of these scams are happening overseas and in foreign countries, and a lot of them are putting the conversation through a generator, in which the generator is coming out English and writing the email for them. So that's just another red flag just to be aware of. Another thing is, they're always in a rush to like get you to do something. So if you do feel like this is a little odd or whatever, just wait a little bit or take your time a little bit. And if they're rushing you and saying, you know, things like what's going on, what's happening, or what's taking so long and things like that, then you know that's another red flag. Also, another red flag would be if you're receiving emails and it came from your junk mail or spam, or I know on PCs they'll usually say, do you trust this person, or do you trust this outside source? Like, computers are really starting to get smart with certain things like that, so it's good for us, but those are more red flags. So I called my bank. They let me know, you know, to call back after it was done pending. I'm like, okay, cool, fair enough. So now, you know, at this point, my boyfriend is laughing at me. Like, he's just like, are you serious? And he honestly felt bad for me because $800 is not chump change. But he was like, I just gotta laugh because, like, come on. But he said the same thing I said. Like, if you've never been scammed, then you just don't know. So the next day, I realized that the charge was no longer pending, and it's probably because I did use my PIN, so it went right through. When I got to work, I actually called my bank again. I told them that I wanted to open a claim. I thought about lying to them, honestly, but I know that they do have to do an investigation. And I don't know if that investigation would have included them in going to Target or getting the police involved and having the police look at the surveillance camera or whatever it is like that. I know banks have insurance and they can reimburse people for certain things in certain situations or whatever like that. And I thought about lying, but I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to be honest. Like, that's the type of person that I am. Let me just tell the customer representative what happened. So I told the customer representative what happened, detail for detail. Like, she like really sympathized with me, and she was just like, oh my God, that's so crazy. I had a friend that happened to. And she's like, you know, we're going to try to get you your money, no problem. Let me transfer you to claims, da-da-da. So she transferred me. I spoke to someone in claims. They were all really nice about it. Opened a claim. They gave me a claim number. Boom. Maybe like 3 days later, I called again. They said, you know, this claim just was open. It takes about 10 business days. And you should be expecting a letter in the mail about the claim, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. So maybe 8 days passed. Maybe 8? Was it 8? Yeah, maybe like 8 days passed. I didn't get anything in the mail. I was at work, and I decided just to call my bank, just to check up on it, check the status of the claim. So I did that. The young lady, I feel like, that I was talking to, I feel like she knew what the status of it was, but she decided to direct the call to claims. Okay, cool, no problem. So I'm speaking to someone, a guy in the claims department now. This guy gonna tell me my claim has been denied. Denied. So at this point, I'm like livid. I know it's not his fault. I know the decision wasn't his. And that's why I don't really bug out on people that work for companies when things don't go my way. So I was just like, you know what? Can you explain that to me, like, thoroughly? Because I really want to understand what's going on. Basically, he said that I was well aware of what was going on or what I was purchasing. And I even put my PIN in to complete the purchase. So their insurance does not cover that, and they cannot reimburse me of my $800. So that was that. So now, and I just found this out yesterday, that my claim was denied. So now, I'm just like, I had a feeling that it was going to be denied because I did put my PIN in. I feel like if it was a credit card company, like, it would have been easier to be reimbursed. But I do feel like because I put my PIN in, that's like even more of the security of, okay, I'm buying this. Boom, boom, here you go. Like I've been with this bank and the bank is Santander Bank. And I've been with this bank for over 10 years. And I have never had any issues, anything like that. Never been scammed before, never been in the negatives. Like, had this bank since I was in high school, basically. And I never went through anything like this. And they just denied the claim. And I was just like, oh, sorry, move on, bye. And that was it. So, kind of felt like the customer service rep was not sympathetic at all. But, hey, this is America. Whatever. So, I did let the guy know that I am changing my bank, in which I am. I just need to wait till Friday because they're open till 6 and I get off of work at 4. So I'll be changing my bank, closing all of my accounts with them. I do have 3 accounts, 2 savings. No, I have 1 saving, 1 trusted account, and my checking account. And I will be closing all my accounts with them and transferring everything over to a new bank. I don't know what my new bank will be yet, but it will be done. And that's just what it is. And that's just how I feel, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, yeah. So, excuse me. That's my story time. And guys, don't be as dumb as me. And look out for the signs. Even if you have to stop and think about it for a second. Or share it with a friend, call your mom, ask your mom what she thinks about this, actually call the person. Like, these scams have been going on for a long time, and me and my boyfriend even Googled it after, and there's a bunch of different scams where people's bosses, the company email gets hacked, and the employees get emails from their boss saying, oh, I need you to purchase some gift cards, but I don't want you to tell any of the other employees because it's a surprise. So please go and purchase this amount Starbucks, this amount this amount that, and then scratch off the card and then send me email me the code on it. Like, there's so many stories, like, now that we've researched it online. So just make yourself aware, make yourself alert, and just listen to your gut, honestly. That's the only thing I can honestly say. I'm just sharing this video because I really need to raise awareness on this because it's just sad. Like, it really is. It's, like, really ridiculous. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, no, she